Good afternoon, folks. We are live and up and running once again. Let me get everything switched over and set up properly, and we will jump into a hopefully productive session in Factorio. Okay, we should have audio and video running through the chill royalty-free playlist today. Alright, we are back here on Fulgora, and I do not remember what we were doing last time. I should go check the archive and see where we left off. I have played this a bit since the last stream, doing some work on the factory and trying to kind of build some stuff out. Let me go double check. I'll just mute the YouTube audio in the last archive and see what we were doing before. So it has been a couple weeks. Let's see, 4 months ago. That doesn't sound right. Was it really almost a month ago? I guess so. Huh. Alright, let's see. We weren't starting on the planet. I'd already gotten a decent way in to developing on this particular planet. Let me check the archive. Unless I missed an upload somewhere. Huh. Okay, we were on the second island as of that archive video. And I was looking at expanding to the third island, but we hadn't really done that yet. Okay, alright, well I can explain where we're at. This will be a bit of a change then. That's fine. We were over here, more or less. This is the second island, if you look at the map, on Fulgora. I'd started down here initially. This entire island is more or less dead. The production has stopped here, and I've sort of been siphoning off some of the stuff that got crafted, but by and large, I'm not really doing anything with the stuff here. The second major island is where we were working on before, and then I branched out to this big one right here, which is where the majority of all the production is going. I can real quickly run around and explain what's here, since this is centrally all of the production to make the electromagnetic science, magenta science up here. This is the main commodity that I am producing to export off of this planet for research purposes. And I've been working at this for a while, so the production has accumulated a decent amount of these that I can shuttle up to my transport. But all the components of the electromagnetic science is being produced here. I was able to sort of cram in more on this island because there's more real estate and space. But if you look at the mini map, and let me see if I can turn that off. Turn off logistics. There we go. It's a little bit easier to see. So on the main map here, all these gray areas which border pretty much every aspect of the islands here, these are all accumulators. These are accumulators hooked up to power poles, or substations rather, and lightning rods, and this is our power grid. The entirety of production here on the big island is being supported by an electricity grid that includes all the stuff around here, going all the way up to the little tip of the continent, and then this entire island. It's connected via power lines, which I think we had already shown off and talked about in a previous session. So all of that down here and all the stuff around here is powering all the production here, and it more or less runs on its own. I've been filling in kind of the gaps with more accumulators. We have just about 40 gigajoules of reserve power that will start depleting as soon as the lightning storms stop hitting all the lightning rods, lightning collectors here, which power everything. And so the trick is getting a big enough surplus in storage so that once it starts depleting, it'll have enough reserve to power the entire facility until the storms start back up again. And I think I have it more or less balanced now. We'll see. If I get a power shutdown warning, it means my grid failed. But it's more or less functional now. One problem I ran into on this particular section of the base was being short on water, interestingly enough. We get it from recycling scrap and taking the ice blocks and melting these down with chemical plants to get water. But even with all of the recycling going here and over here, make sure I'm on site to grab all this stuff. You can see these scrap piles are slowly being depleted, which I'm going to have to fix that while I'm here. But at least it makes more space that I can probably throw in more accumulators. Okay, we'll leave that there for now. But because the water was being used to not only break down some of the heavy oil in order to get petroleum, and I believe holmium needs it as well. Where's all my holmium being produced? Oh, here. Yeah, I need it for holmium solution. We need it to break down all the oil types from heavy to medium and medium to petroleum, and we need it for sulfuric acid as well, which we need for batteries and the like. So in order to solve that, so I did this over a couple offline sessions. We went up here to the northern island, and this is a smaller contained area. Still a decent amount of scrap. How much is left? Less than I thought. But I don't think it's actively being consumed as quickly. This is a temporary solution. We'll see how long it holds up. But I basically turned this whole island into a singular resource recycling site. So down here where scrap is being fed in on this recycler, and this one up here is set up here, and down here everything's being broken down except for ice. And this is sort of a setup to just process one type of resource. Then the ice is being flown using drones to wherever it needs to be processed up here. Yeah, just one spot. And these are all chemical plants that are taking the ice, melting it down, and storing it in the tanks here for the actual water. And then the train is waiting to offload its contents, so it's not moving. But there's a train that goes back and forth between the northern island and the middle one, and it fills up on water and it trucks it off to the main site to be used. So for now, at least until this island completely empties out of scrap, which might not be immediate, but it will happen at some point. This is where I will be supplying water. And so if we go a little bit further to the left on the map, oh, I forgot about that site. This one a little bit further north, which I guess I will need to go and adjust the drills. Maybe I should do that now before I forget. But this is a supplementary site that is grabbing some useful materials like ice for water, batteries, stone, and holmium ore, and actually flying all those contents down with the drones to wherever it's needed in the rest of the base. The problem, which you can see on the map, so all those red X's are, because they're being flown outside the path of our base where it's protected, drones every once in a while are getting struck by lightning, getting destroyed. That is a short-term problem, but something I need to be aware of because my drones do all the work. And I don't think I'm running out yet, but I'll need to go and make sure the drone facilities still have enough of them so they can keep doing their job. Because it seems like I lose maybe one or two every so often as they fly back and forth. So I'll need to keep an eye on that to make sure I don't run out of stuff being flown down. But we'll go up there and take a look at production. Yeah, I want another one. Let's see, where's my freighter? Maybe I can grab more of the engines. Or flying robot frames. This is one thing I'm not actively producing on Fulgora because I haven't bothered to produce electric engine units. Well, maybe we can go over 1,000 of them. Well, there's not that many being produced on site. Okay. Well, we'll get the 1,000. The transport's parked here. I'm going to need to bring it back. I haven't set this one up on an automated route yet because I don't think it's quite optimized. But this is the big freighter that I'm going to be using to transport stuff to and from Fulgora to Novice and Volcanis for research. This thing's meant to truck primarily the electromagnetic science. And so ideally, when I eventually maybe get some more advanced recipes for fuel, I'm going to want this thing on an automatic route going between Volcanis up here in the corner to Novice and Fulgora, and basically going 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and looping infinitely, but it needs to be sustainably able to keep going without running out of fuel. And that's what I'm currently working on. I've been told that there's some advanced recipes that will make my fuel production a bit easier, but we're not quite there yet. Our next target, which I'm not planning on heading here today, but the next world I gotta get to is Gleba. And that comes with a whole new series of mechanics to figure out, just like we had to do on all the other planets. Well, that'll be fun. I hear that's one of the toughest of the planets to sort of explore and master. No, I just realized these aren't even on the network. Should be. We're quickly depleting scrap deposits. Maybe what I will do... Got a couple stray ones here. We'll have a big drill here, just mining scrap and stockpiling it. And then we'll do that in a couple other spots. Instead of belt feeding everything, what I've been doing, even though it's a little more costly when it comes to resources, is I've just been having the drills spit their contents into storage chests on the logistics network, and then as I need to feed more scrap onto the production line, put it here, then the bots just grab what they need and they fill up the chests. Rather than have belts going all across, then they just fly their contents in there. There they go. And they'll mine the scrap at a decent rate. And then once the patches have been depleted, all I have to do is pick up the drills and move them somewhere else. And that should keep the line supplied with scrap. Okay. Looks like we got what we need here. So I'm going to send this thing back to Fulgora. It'll take maybe a minute or so. This particular platform does truck quickly because it's got 11 thrusters. But it burns through fuel decently fast. I think defense-wise, all the ammunition and everything else will keep the contents of the platform safe. But if I were to take the entire platform and run it non-stop, going between the 3 planets, I would run out of fuel faster than I could accumulate it. Just looking at the burn rate. I think the main... It's hard to tell where the main choke point is there. Let's see. Why did these stop? Huh. They're not full. Oh, is this stuff not feeding into a tank? I must have deleted it by accident. That's why. That's half the production on fuel. No wonder. Whoops. And I could see, I must have gotten distracted or something. This line down here isn't even finished. Now all these are piping fuel over, thruster fuel over the tanks. Huh. Might have to shore up the production on this stuff too. Oxidizer. But looks like fuel is being burned faster for now. Oh, need to make sure we pause thrust, otherwise it's going to turn around and head back. Okay. With the transport back, that took what, 2 minutes? About 2 minutes to fly from one to the other. But I should have dumped that whole stack of 1,000 robot frames, which we can just throw into the thing that was producing them over here. Where was it? Here. Alright, when we loaded the stream up, I was going to be piping a couple things that was producing lube somewhere. I just don't remember what it was going to be used for. Oh, I remember now. I'm thinking about upgrading to Mark III belts. That's what it was for. Maybe not necessarily here, but one of the short-term goals that I want to do before I get ready to leave this planet is I want to build a bigger production area over here. This island that's just to the left. And I started just in between going over here, and this is all accumulators. Oh, let me zoom in. But almost the entire island has been filled with accumulators. This is designed to power everything that's going to go in here for production. And so the idea, if I can swing it properly, would be to have all the production facilities to get everything I need to make science, since that's the only real thing I need to do here, being produced in a large scale on this site, and anything that needs to be recycled or transferred over, since these islands all have scrap and this one doesn't, is all done up here and being funneled down to this site, and it's just production. And maybe I do that with trains to make things faster, but there's a lot of real estate here, and I'm thinking maybe not this rightmost island because it's a little bit further between these two, but I could for sure get a bunch of recycling set up on this left island and then supplement the power grid from here over here, maybe around the perimeter, as much space as I can fill with more energy production. That way I don't have to crowd all of the real estate here with more accumulator grids. That's kind of the plan, because even though there's more space on this middle island compared to the second one, I still ended up having to box in so much with power just to keep the thing running. And this by itself wouldn't sustain an operation like this. So we would need probably every square inch of this full, and then a good portion of this one full. But I think that can work. And then maybe ultimately once that's up and running, I don't have to worry about all the production stuff here. Maybe we just turn this one off, because this whole drone thing, them being slowly lost over time, is not very efficient. So that's sort of the next major thing I want to do. Get production up faster. And then once I can do that, then I'll look at leaving. Okay, where am I? could convert this area. I'm trying to think of the best place to do this. Foundries. Do foundries do Mark IIIs? They do. Okay. I think I need to change this layout slightly so that the gears are being funneled into a different spot. So let's move some things around. Here for the level 2s. Okay, I'm just gonna delete this all out and kind of reconfigure everything. I think what I'd rather do is just have one chest each here, since I think I have enough space around it. Just out of range. That'll do. Okay, if I put a foundry here, here, and here, does that give me enough space? No, I think I need one more tile. This fluid line is in the way now. Okay. That's fine. We can move it down just a few spots. And the idea would be have the Mark IIIs being produced here. So that means the Mark IIs get fed in. We could do one chest, 4 gears, and just feed it directly to the side and just drop it down. That's probably the best way to do that, so it's not as cluttered. Let's try that. So you go there, you go there, and you go there. And then the lube that I was just creating down here is going to get piped up. And we just have to feed it into each of these production sites, and that should be it. It's just those and red circuits. I didn't realize it was red circuits too. Okay, let's get this hooked up first. Let's see. For the reds. I thought it was three items. It's actually 4. Could do... let's see. It's gonna get a little bit messy, but let's see if I can get it to work. Bring them up here. That's not gonna work. You can have it feeding. And everything's too close together. Could move this further out so I have more room. Basically what I want to do is have 2 different source crates feeding one line so that the top line is red circuits and the bottom line is gears. But I can't really do that while it's this crammed together. All right. Let me see if I can fix that. Maybe with a splitter? Oh, that might work. Okay, I think that will do it. Not the most elegant solution, but I think that'll do it. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Not all of them need reds, just the splitters? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I only need to do it for one. That's fine. Okay, there it goes. Call this, we'll just put 400 here. I'll drop these and say stack of 1,000, the gears. Oh wow, that burns quite a few. So, in that case, we can just put another crate here. I have boatloads of gears. They come off the scrap recovery, recycling in massive quantities, so I'm never going to run out of those. Okay, Mark 3s are up and running. Not the most pretty layout, but that's okay. So now the question is how we go about expanding everything to the next set of islands. I guess I should just zip over there and actually see what it looks like. This is all of the power accumulators that I mentioned before that are here. They're not feeding anything, so they're just sitting here topped out at 12.4 gigajoules of power for just this island. That means if we go over here to the main site, we could support whatever we build here up to that total capacity. But because we're on the lightning planet, I need to actually secure the entirety of the space here so that I'm not getting struck by lightning and my buildings aren't getting struck by lightning. So that means we're going to have to run some lightning collectors around the perimeter. The blue bubble shows the radius at which the lightning collectors will protect anything in the vicinity that's being struck by lightning. They will redirect it and absorb it and then transfer it to the grid. If we want our base to be safe, then we need to have this sphere of influence covering everything, every square inch of this real estate. Because if just a little portion's left uncovered, like I am right now, then it's at risk to be struck by lightning, which would be a very bad day. I think 2 or 3 bolts will kill my player character, and it'll just destroy your buildings over time if you don't do something about it. We can do this. We'll go around the perimeter. Can't remember if it was on one of the previous streams for when we were playing Factorio, but I had to go through this island and clear all of the ruins and debris that normally spawns on these islands like this. All this stuff, I had to go and basically demo everything to make it flat and open so I can actually build on it. Okay, should have enough to at least do the perimeter. Oh, I had one down here. Oh, I didn't even look at this island over here. This is, we're getting towards the unexplored section of the map. You can see the fog of war all up. If we zoom way out to microscopic level, essentially, all of the black space here is unexplored terrain. It's parts of the map, and I think it would just go infinitely procedurally generated, but I don't foresee myself going that far out. But if I wanted to, there's more map all where you see black space, and everything that's visible has been spots that I've actively gone to on foot. And so I forgot about this island down here. It's smaller than this one up to the right, but this could be a good site for just throwing tons of power. There is scrap here, which means, I wonder if I can cross the gap here. For folks who might not have seen me explain how all of the building works on this planet, these islands are bounded by a sea of oil. And this oil sea, you can't build structures on. You leave it like water. And so the gimmick and trick to Fulgora is figuring out how to manage build sites across the different islands and then get what you need to where it needs to go. And I don't think I'm going to be able to bridge that gap. Oh, it's a couple tiles short. Oh, it's too bad. What about up here? I think that's still too far. Our large power poles have a max distance they can go before they can't connect. So looks like we're, again, a couple tiles short. Okay. Well, that at least gives us another satellite island to put down power. This one I haven't done anything with at all, so you see tons of ruins and whatnot. I'd have to go and level it, which isn't hard because of the bots I've got on my person. If I just go like this, they'll fly out and they'll just level everything within the area I select and break it down into collectible random types of material I can either dump or use for building. So I might do that next, because I'd be really curious to see how much power a full island down there would give me. I think if I can get around the same as the second island, which was 40, that's probably enough to set up a pretty robust production site. But we'll find out. I was talking to someone I know recently who's also a person who plays a lot of games, and I was trying to explain why I like this particular genre, the factory auto sim type games, which is very different from a lot of the stuff I stream here on the channel. We do a lot of, well, we've done more in the past, fighting games, kind of action-ish games, RPGs, and recently with stuff like Warriors Abyss and going back to like Vampire Survivors and all that, a lot of roguelite games. But factory and automation sim games like Factorio, Satisfactory, Dyson Sphere Program are very different, kind of in their general vibe and the core mechanics. And so I was trying to explain to this person why I like playing these games, and I think it's the problem solving aspect I like. These games force you to come up with a solution to a problem, whether it's figuring out how you're going to power a facility or a big factory like this, or in the case of the first world we started on, which we haven't spent a lot of time on recently, but this was our first major site that we built on. The big factory sites here, and we did an auxiliary one to sort of redo some of the production. This first planet called Novice, the first one you start on when you begin Factorio, is a pretty simple world as far as its resources and its layout, but it has hostile life forms on it. And so the thing you have to figure out here is how to maximize your production, get what you need in your tech, while keeping... Let's see if it'll let me actually zoom into where I've got eyes. Probably not. These red clusters all around the map are biters. They are a type of bug-like alien creature native to this planet. Here, that's what they look like. And as your factory site grows and its pollution that's created from all your production grows and encroaches on their territory, then they'll get upset and they will attack your facility. And as things go, they evolve over time and become stronger. So if you don't have a means to defend your factory, you'll be mobbed by angry bugs. And so right now we've got a turret and laser cannon wall bordering all of the essential parts of the different facilities. And to keep the bugs from expanding their hives and getting closer, I unlocked long-range artillery. Artillery turrets will auto-target things that get within a pretty decent range of their shots, and they will destroy the insect hives And so you can see kind of the edge of the radius is maybe about here on the main site. Everywhere where you can kind of see them still there, but not further in. That means if they get closer than where they are now, they'll get destroyed by the turrets. And so that's keeping all of the enemy hordes at bay. And more or less meant I can go hands off. I don't have to pay attention to this factory as much, because we have the second major one on the volcanic planet. This one is producing different materials than the first planet factory, and this is also the main site where I'm researching new tech. Main gimmick on volcanic planet Volcanus is, one, there's different resources that are found here compared to the first planet, and I don't know if I'll be able to see one on the map now, but the hostile life forms here are these giant graboid looking worms called Demolishers, and they patrol territory bounded by the bold red lines. And when you first start, they box you in pretty well, and you don't have a lot of space. You've got to research the tech to kill them and take their territory. And after you do that, you can expand further. And the further out you go, the stronger the Demolishers get. I think I need to eventually get back here and research the tech to kill the medium-sized ones. I can take out the small ones, which is how I got all the territory I've got here, but the bigger ones are tougher. Higher HP, they do more damage, so you need better weaponry in order to take them out and clear more space. But by and large, I'm not super pressed for space here. But there's a lot of important stuff that I'm shipping to this planet in order for me to use it for research and get more tech unlocked. And then the planet we're on now that I've been talking this whole time, Fulgora, is the lightning planet with the islands. After this, our next spot is Gleba. This planet is one I've never been to. This playthrough of Factorio is my first time playing through the Space Age DLC that came out last year now. In the original vanilla game, you just have the single planet that you build on and eventually get through your tech progression. Now there's 4 other planets: Volcanus, Fulgora, Gleba, Aquilo, and then eventually out to the solar system edge. And you have kind of a choice, from what I understand, of where you go from novice. But once you clear Gleba, then you can go to Aquilo. And so I saved this one for last of these initial 3 because I heard it's the hardest. It's like an organic planet with a lot of swamps and very angry creatures. And so we'll get to that one probably in maybe a couple sessions once I finish production on Fulgora. And so to give, again, folks who've never seen me stream Factorio some context, we'll save here. Been yapping. Our main save, Space Beatopia 2. I have been playing this not entirely on stream, but primarily on stream and some off when I want to, grind away at the factory. Total playtime so far is 232 hours. And I am not all the way through the content of Space Age DLC. 232 hours. Realistically, if I want to do everything and clear every planet, we're probably looking at like 500 hours in total. That's why I don't stream Factorio every single week. But there's a lot of stuff to do. A good friend of mine who introduced me to this game, I usually consult him for tips on how to progress, and he's put in something like it's been a while since I checked. I can look right now if I pull up Steam. Let's see, where are you at? I think Factorio is his most played game. But how many hours? Okay, I think I found it. This friend of mine who you folks have never met, he's not a content creator or streamer, but he has spent 4,444 hours in Factorio. And he's been playing it since it was early access too. So if that gives you any idea about how much time you can sink into a game like this, it is a decent amount if you're the type that likes to, one, figure out how to solve problems, and then once you quote unquote beat the game, which is kind of what I do whenever I play games like this, after I clear all the content, I like to go back and figure out how to do it better. But that is definitely going to be a while from now. It's also worth mentioning, I think I've talked about it on stream before too, this game can be played multiplayer. You can do co-op saves just online. It's pretty simple to set up, where you and, I don't know if there's a limit on how many people, but you and other people can get plopped down in a world, and you have to collectively work together to build up your factory, survive all of the hostile life forms, and progress. And now that we have the ability to go between planets and whatnot, I imagine the multi is even more fun. More complicated to manage, but now you're not just bound to one planet. You can go explore the planetary system and try not to get murdered by either hostile environments or hostile life forms, or a mix of both. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm expanding the grid of lightning collectors to cover all of the island so I can walk around safely without getting zapped. I'm going to grab more power poles. I bet if I invested in quality production, I could get higher quality lightning collectors, which would, I assume, have a large radius of coverage, or maybe a better accumulation to power grid output. Quality is something I have not messed around with a ton in this game, because it's a little bit kind of complex if you start getting into it. But basically, as you produce the different components and pieces of equipment or tools that you need, if you plug in a certain type of production module, there's a chance that the result will be at a higher level of quality, which means it's a better product. It either functions better or does its job better than just the standard issue base quality. And I was just watching one of my fellow streamers, Dat Blue, who's, I would consider an expert on this game, and he streams Factorio too. And I was watching him on stream a couple of days ago, and he was basically setting up the highest quality production for some specific items, and he had this elaborate setup in order to do that, which was pretty cool to see. But we are not quite there yet. Okay, I think that covers this island. Let me go grab some more material. I think I want to start putting down power on the southern island there and see how much that gives me. I understand this is probably not the most riveting gameplay as I'm flying back and forth and just putting down buildings, but we'll need to have that infrastructure set up so that we can actually start loading up all the production. Because what we see here, it's dark, but it'll get lighted in a sec. Here in this section of the second island is, or third island technically, these are all different items primarily that I need to either construct things or set up my factory. I have it all in one spot so it's easy to get to. So things that craft other things or things that move stuff around like inserters. Whenever I need to get more, I just come back here and grab them out the crates. Hey, we got a hydrate and a stretch from lava. Hey, what's up, lava? Oh, that reminds me. I should probably check the redeem queue. For the mod team, if you see that I haven't gotten to the redeem queue in a while, then the mods can clear that out if you want. You don't have to wait for me to do it. But yeah, welcome to the stream, Lava. Hopefully you're feeling better. Lava says had a wicked surf and turf for dinner. Oh, nice. What kind of turf? Like, what kind of steak did you eat? Lava isn't feeling moderately better than yesterday. Well, good. Ah, okay, beef and shrimp. So the surf was shrimp. What kind of cut of beef did you use? I personally like ribeye. Ribeye is pretty easy to pan sear or grill, but it's a little bit more expensive of a cut compared to some of the cheaper ones like flank or skirt. Well, it says, I don't know, it's one of those bags of meat you boil, like pulled pork. Oh. You sous vide it? I guess the question is, did the beef come out like the texture of pulled beef or pulled pork? Or was it just cooked, like boiled, and then you seared it? Cocktail shrimp for the shrimp. Okay, I see you. It does sound good. I'm only asking because I'm always curious to hear people's justification of what kind of steak or how they like their steak, since as a former cook, I have my own opinions on how the most optimal ways to eat steak are. I think as long as you don't say you prefer your steak well done, we're good. That one mystifies me to this day. But if that's what people like, there's nothing wrong with that. Lava says, for sauces I use Miracle Whip, mustard, and garlic aioli. Oh, nice. All in one? Or you had like different sauces that had all those components? And arugula for veggies. Okay, did you do like a frisee or like chopped arugula with sauce, or did you use it more like a salad, or did you cook it? You can consume arugula in a bunch of different ways. I like putting it in sandwiches instead of regular lettuce. Okay, I need to demo. Oh boy, it's gonna take a minute. I need to demo the southern island after I set up. I need lightning collectors. Ah, yeah, my bad. Surf and turf sandwich. So the greens were in your sandwich. I can read. That does sound good. I need to figure out what I'm doing for dinner. I might just go order something because I'm going to be hitting the road tomorrow, so I don't really want to cook anything with leftovers. Ah, peach tea for a beverage. Snapple. Nice. I haven't had a Snapple in eons. Okay, let's see. These are lightning rods. Where are my lightning collectors being created? Here. Okay, I gotta see. I'm gonna do a quick aside here to kind of show off what I'm talking about with the quality system. I just need to remember where I put my quality modules. I don't think they're on this continent. I think I was building them on the other one. Lava said I also have to get my makeup for Fan Expo. I'm going as the Crow. Oh, nice. Shoutouts to Brandon Lee, rest in peace. Hadn't seen that movie in a while. Okay. Quality modules. I haven't come back here in such a long time, I forgot where I put the things. Ah, forget it. I'm just gonna... I'll put a spot and craft them on the main island, and I don't have to run back and forth anymore. I'll just put them over here by the other ones. These modules can be slotted into different production buildings and other things, and it changes their effectiveness. So the blue ones, I don't have any green ones. The blue ones speed up production at the cost of consuming more energy. The red ones don't change the speed, but they give you a bonus. After a purple bar underneath production fills up, when you have the red ones slotted in, then it gives you bonus output, which is handy. I'll just put it over here. We'll go the reverse. So the regular quality modules need red and green circuits, I believe. And interestingly enough, we have the ability to research. Might as well do this while I'm sitting here tinkering on the base. We can research more the next level, the first tier 3 quality, for tier 3 module rather. We'll do that while we're setting everything up. And if we're doing that, maybe we'll go top to bottom instead. So level 1s get crafted, then stuck in here, and this will be level 2s. So level 1s, we need green and red, which I should have a lot of green and red circuits just chilling in storage here. Let's go 400 and 400. This is telling the logistics bots to grab X amount of these quantities of the materials and truck them over to this crate so that they can be used for production. And then the output will get sent down here. These take red and blue, which is why I put it next to this crate here. And then these will get fed to here once the level 3 ones unlock, which should take a couple minutes. Yeah, that shouldn't take too long. Consuming 340. Should top out around 400 total science consumed per minute. Again, to illustrate what I'm even talking about here, if we go to Volcanus, whenever I say science or research, in order to go up the tech tree, which is what this menu is, this is all sorts of tech that we can research to get new items or new things that help our overall progression. In order to unlock these different pieces of tech, we need to have the different colors of science packs for whatever it requires. And you have to take those science packs and feed them through research facilities like this. And all these different colors are produced in different places in the game. Everything up to, I believe, it's orange. Actually, it's white and orange need to be are produced on the first planet. You get white from space and harvesting materials and asteroids in space. And orange you get from Volcanus, this planet I'm looking at now, the volcanic one. And then the magenta science, electromagnetic, is produced on the lightning planet Fulgora, which I'm at now. And so part of the progression through Factorio is getting all of the different colors of science into one spot so that you can have them being researched in the facilities here to unlock your tech. And so all these are going full speed. Oh, no, it's going to top out around a little less than 350. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and save. So, Love, I'm not too familiar with Fan Expo, but is that an anime convention or comic convention? What's its main focus? Gaming? I can look it up. I just don't have my other screen here. And the reason why I ask is my question was, what are you looking forward to checking out there at said convention? Okay. Research should be finishing shortly. What I'll do is I'll go grab more of the accumulators. We're going to need that to put down more of the grid. Ultimately, what I want to do, and this will probably be super late game, is come back to the planets and then completely redo all the bases once I have the whole quality system implemented, so that instead of it being like the base level things we're working with, it goes up to legendary, or how do I show that? Let's see which menu shows me quality. Filters would show it. Here we go. This is just one of the many places you can see the whole quality system. So normal quality is just the base version of whatever you're producing, or mining, or harvesting, or whatever. Then it goes up from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is legendary. And each quality tier you go up for your production, whatever you're harvesting or creating, works better. It becomes more effective or more efficient or whatnot. And so late game factories in Factorio are maximizing the use of quality to have the most optimal setup for production. And it's pretty cool to see. I was watching Blue do that the other day. But it requires quite a bit of tinkering around with all of the different production and having the infrastructure to sustain it. So I'm not there yet, but I do want to see if I can get some better quality lightning collectors, and I'm going to try that for a couple things just to see what happens. I don't remember off the top of my head what the level 3 quality percentage buff it gives, but we'll see that in a sec. Okay. So if we tell it to produce level 3 quality, that requires red and blue again, and superconductors. Okay. That's a material, that's an advanced material we get here on this planet. So we go red, blue, superconductors. Which I should have a decent amount. Only thing I'm using those superconductors for is the electromagnetic science. Oh yeah, we got tons of that. Okay, can't put quantity modules in here. But these, because they're such an advanced material, they give 2.5. Okay. And unless I'm misremembering, I'm pretty sure you can utilize these quality modules in your production to create better quality modules when you have it configured a little bit better, which I assume would mean that they confer a better boost. So each one of these gives 2.5% chance to increase the quality of the output, and you have to rely on just that percentage chance. So for these, it's 4 in total, these assemblers, the green ones. So 2.5 times 4, that's 10. You could do basic math. 10% chance of increased quality for the output. And if you use speed beacons, it'll speed the production. I wonder if I can squeeze one in down here. Could have sworn I put something to craft the regular beacons here. I saw it in the second base. I don't remember if I put another one here. Let's do this. We'll just move it for now. I'll put this one there. Should have enough of a range of touching this one to give the speed boost. Yeah, just barely. I wonder at what point I get the third tier of the blue ones. It's probably on the next planet I'm going to. Okay, I want to get one more, and then we'll test this out with the lightning collector production. I'd like to see just what the difference is between the regular and a higher quality, just out of curiosity, and then we'll go back to filling out the grid in the new site. Because it's going to take a while for these to produce. One more. Okay. The lightning collector is down here. Oh. Oh, this thing can take up to 5. That's good to know. The electromagnetic plant is a building you unlock on this particular planet, and it crafts a bunch of the electromagnetic technology that you unlock on this particular site. Okay, go back and get another module. That's 5 in total, so that's 12.5% chance to spit out something of higher quality. Oh, there's one. That didn't take long. Okay, so we can compare. You can tell that this is a level 2 quality, which is what, uncommon? Uncommon, that's the level 2. So if we look at the level 1, range 25, efficiency 40%, stack size, how many you can have, capacity, I don't think that ever changes. But for the level 2, the range is 32.5, efficiency is 52. So its overall sphere of influence goes up, and its efficiency and how it converts the accumulated lightning to the power grid goes up. Okay, that's pretty good. Makes me wonder what the difference is from 2 to 3. If it's incremental or if it's exponential in the efficacy. But for now, what we'll do is we'll let this keep going. In fact, I think I need to filter this properly. Otherwise, it's going to fill up with the common ones. We want 2, level 2, level 3, and 4 and 5. We want to only grab the better than regular tier collectors and dump them into this chest. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll put another one to grab all the regular basic tier ones, and I'll stick them in another storage. This, I believe this works for filtering out the different levels of quality output. That's what I've done in the past. Oh, here's a level 3. Got lucky. So level 3, it goes from 32.5 and 52 to 40 and 64. So 12. Another 12 on efficiency. Range goes up. 15, or this one goes up rather 7.5, 7.5. Okay, I think it is the same increment. Okay, that's good to know. We should be able to actually put these down on the map and see the difference as well. Not when these are currently active. So if we go level 1, you could see that the radius is right about there. Go to level 2, it's further out, and level 3, it's pretty substantial. That technically means we would need less of these, but I'm going to put them on the other island since these are already in place. So down here, we need to map the perimeter and do the exact same thing. So we'll start with the higher quality ones. And now we can just use the regular level 1s to finish going around the perimeter. And then I gotta go and demo all of these ruins and clear everything off. So we do this. It shouldn't take too many of these, just loop around the entire perimeter. There, it should be good. And now we just need to make sure the middle has coverage. And it does. Okay, easy enough. Now I just need to demo all of the stray ruins, and then we're good to start dropping down power grid. Some of these structures, I don't know if this counts as one, but some of these ones that look like little electrode towers like this will attract lightning and they'll protect you, but they won't transfer that accumulated lightning to the power grid at all. So when you're just exploring initially and you need a safe spot, you can stand next to them and you won't get struck by lightning, but they won't power your grid, so that's why I'm just taking them all out in large groups. Ooh, and I see we have small Raku redeem. Okay, it's definitely been a hot minute. I'm gonna put my model there, and we'll see how long it takes for me to remember to turn it off. Oh, I see why the coverage was showing all the stuff in the middle. It's because of those ruined towers. All right, there's still a couple holes. There's one. It's a little bit tough to see unless I zoom in further, but that little cloud icon means I'm at risk of being struck by lightning. I'm unprotected, so we want to make sure and get the tower in place so that we're not getting zapped as we run around. Okay, I'll probably have to go a couple down the middle since this area was all protected by the ruins. That's fine. Do it systematically. Thankfully, our bots will essentially bulldoze the area fairly quickly. And they'll also level the cliff sides with the blue cliff explosives, which isn't super necessary unless I need to bridge something. So I won't go super crazy since I don't have the ability to produce that on this planet right now. I have to ship them in from Volcanus every time I need more cliff explosives. And we'll just throw all of the miscellaneous junk in the trunk. Actually, I should put that further out. Put it near the perimeter. So we're going to be dropping down the power grid. I don't want these chests in the middle. I want it to be pretty. we're still good over here. So we'll clear out this side of the map, we'll see. It's a little bit tough to see the boundaries of everything, but if I just select with the demolition toggle that I have on, so the red box means, then anything that can be torn down will get grabbed by the bots. And while I'm doing all this kind of busy work, in other news, I don't think I mentioned this in the community Discord at all or on stream, but since I moved the playthrough of Warriors Abyss onto PC, which was what I was primarily doing on Switch, I picked up Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher on Switch, which is the only system it's on, unfortunately. I picked up the game again. That is the Monster Rancher game using Ultraman Kaiju from the franchises. And I'm down the rabbit hole again. I really like that game a lot. I hope we get another one at some point. But I know some of the folks that hang out here are familiar with the Ultraman franchise. Definitely more so than me. I think I've talked about it with Lava before and maybe Snake. But seeing all the different creatures from the franchise and being able to, you know, train them like you do in a Monster Rancher game has been fun. I will spend hundreds of hours in Monster Rancher. That's part of the reason why I haven't played one on stream yet. But maybe in the future. Maybe. Alright. Timer's up. That was fast 5 minutes. Okay, I think that is... Oh, no, missed a couple. Some of these ones blend in with the ground and you can't really see them until you try and build on top of them. Alright, and these should... Yep, they show that connected to the main grid. That's where that 12.4 comes from. So now we should be good to start dropping down accumulator grids. And we will go grab some of those. We need substations and accumulator grids. Or accumulators, that's the name of the material in these little boxes. These are the things that absorb the lightning and store it like a battery. We can drop some extra lightning collectors in there. I'll grab these. Now my guess is this might give us another 10 gigajoules worth of energy. We're going to find out here. So thanks to the handy dandy blueprint feature in this game, I don't have to place all of these grids of the accumulators by hand. That would take forever. You can plop down this entire 7 by 7. I have to look at the grid spread there. But 7 by 7 layout, and then we can just drop them all adjacently and tile this whole thing. And as the bots, they'll go around any buildings or edges. But doing it this way, we can essentially completely cover... Whoops. It's off. We can completely cover the island in very short order. But not if I miss. That's not what I wanted. Okay, and bots will grab the necessary components for whatever I'm putting down out of my inventory, and they'll fly out and drop them. And the red flashing light means they're empty. Once the lightning starts hitting anywhere on the grid now, because they're all connected, then the collectors will divert the lightning into these accumulators, and it'll start boosting up the overall reserve power of the energy grid, which is why I even started doing this to begin with. And we can see now this gets us up to 14.5. When I was talking about the quality earlier, ideally in the future, once I have quality figured out, we'd want legendary accumulators out here, and it probably boosts their overall efficiency and how they store energy and everything else by a considerable bit, but we don't have those at the moment, so we'll just do the regular ones. What I'm doing here is kind of trying to bound all of the accumulators and substations by the same amount, so that the grid is more or less symmetrical. It's not super important, but I'm kind of anal like that in games like this. I want it to be pretty. And we'll have to go grab more in a minute. Now this puts us, these aren't completely filled in yet, that's why they're transparent. But now this puts us up to 16. So yeah, I think if I completely fill the island in, which shouldn't take me too long here, that should get me over 20. My guess is probably around 22 gigajoules in total. Which, if we can do that, that gives me a good place to start when I begin setting up production on the island directly above where we're currently standing. Oh, I'm out. Because there's some production that I don't need on the main island for some of the consumable items that are on this main island that I'm flying over here. Some of the stuff, like all of the things here, I don't need to duplicate over on the other island. It'll just be production. These are all production items. How are we doing here? 21? Can I take these off and put quality in? Wonder. Oh yeah, I can. I figured you could. I don't think I'm going to do that just yet. What I want is for each step of the way to have their own quality modules. But then I have to kind of deal with the diverting the regular ones, and yeah, I don't want to deal with that for the moment. So we'll just have it spit out the final ones for now, and that'll probably be good enough. Okay, I'll grab some accumulators from here. I could have gone to that second island, but we'll do that if we run out again. Or when we run out again. There we go. Now we'll keep filling the grid out. Okay, that should be right there. Should be going top to bottom so I don't misspace these apart. That's a little more than half the entire island. I was talking to that same friend of mine that got me into this game and asking what he did when he was on this particular planet trying to figure out the energy solution. And he told me this is essentially what he did. He just had big fields of accumulators vacuuming up lightning and converting it into auxiliary power to support the entirety of the grid. But once we unlock some more advanced tech, it could be worth revisiting to see if we can do everything more efficiently. Okay, let's keep moving. This particular island has a decent amount of scrap on it, but as far as what we're going to be funneling to the main site for production, what I plan on doing is just mining all of the scrap using my drills and then maybe centralizing where I'm dumping them. And I think I'm just going to train them. By train, I mean use the rails and drop them all into the base on train lines. That way I don't have to deal with any of the scrap mining. And I'm not going to do it with drones because of the risk of them getting struck by lightning like we saw down here. So that means the majority of the sites up here will be drills, sticking all of their contents into storage crates and then funneling them to rails. It's a very short distance, but they'll basically be infinitely running back and forth, dumping loads of scrap, maybe up here on the northern tip. And then I can fly all of that down where I need to. That's the plan. But for now, we need to finish building out the energy grid, and that's probably going to take us to the end of the stream. And this is our science transport. We can send it to Novice. How much of the magenta science do I have? Since there is a site here that's doing research for the tech as well. So, okay, I should probably put 10k and 10k. This is going to have the platform, once it gets there, immediately dump 10k of the science packs here, which is what I want. And then I'm just going to pause it here for now, and then I'll send it to Volcanus when I get another spare minute. I'm definitely looking forward to when I have the transport stuff fully automated, but I think it's going to be a hot minute till I get some later tech recipes. There go the science is being dropped off. And that'll leave about a quarter over here. And so we're just going to go top to bottom, fill in whatever we can. I won't go to the absolute borders of the island because it's going to be kind of a minuscule benefit to the overall power grid, but we'll get close. And once it finishes dropping everything in, we'll see what our overall power grid that we have to work with here, how much. And we can go a little bit further up too. That's good enough. Okay. Now, our total grid capacity is 23. 23.1 gigajoules. I was close. I said 22. Okay. That's a good starting point for the amount of energy we're going to need. I can potentially... I don't know if I have enough space between the northern tip. I think we checked it before, but can I go from here... can go from here to here. Okay, that's good to know. Like I mentioned, the main point of these two islands is going to be mining scrap and shipping it down here so that I can use it. But that's very handy. Okay, well, I guess I'll start demoing stuff here and secure this island. Or maybe I'll do this the one to the left because I think it's bigger. Slightly bigger. Just like we did before, we'll run around the perimeter real quickly. And we'll drop down the collectors and the power poles to secure all the area around. And then we'll see how much time we got left. And then we'll probably have to, yeah, we'll definitely have to kind of cover the middle. And we just need to circle around the bottom edge of this particular island. And now we can flatten the entire area out like we did before. And I will put... The layout's going to be different since I'm not going to go crazy with all of the accumulators. My intention is not to primarily fill up this island with an energy grid, at least not until I clear out some of the scrap. So maybe to that end we can put just a storage crate with all these stray accumulators to use later. Now we go through and start mass deleting out all of these ruins and garbage like we did before. We'll do that and then we'll set up the actual scrap drilling. And that should take us right up to time. I would like to sit here and work on this some more, but I actually have to pack. And I have to get dinner, I have to pack. I'm putting it off all day while I was at work. Let's see. Let's do this. This is what I was doing when I first landed in this area. I'm going to create chests for all my inventory. And I'm going to dump everything in a couple of these chests. Make them blue so I remember which ones are which. But I'm going to throw everything that's not a power pole or a lightning collector. That way I can have more room for all of the scrap garbage that I am demoing off of the site. That's probably good enough. And I won't have to run back and forth and empty my inventory quite so much. But I'll also need construction drones or bots. These are the ones actually doing the work. I do have to wait for them to sort of refuel. The bots have their own finite energy, and if they tap out, then they have to kind of resupply at my suit, which I need to upgrade my roboport, so it makes them a little more effective. But my whole suit is powered by these little fission reactors, which are slotted in. Eventually I'll need to upgrade that too, so oops. Anything that I use my suit for, whether it's construction or logistics based or even defensive weaponry, is adequately powered. Okay, and also keeping an eye on that lightning icon. So I think towards the middle, yeah, I'm unprotected out here. So we get a collector up so that I don't get zapped and my bots don't get zapped. Oh, can see the power pole got struck. Do I have repair packs on me? I think I do. Yeah, there. Construction bots will automatically go repair damaged buildings too, as long as I have those little repair packs on my inventory. Alright, we got a bit more of the island to go. We're going to need to put down roboports at some point. That's what the plan, like I mentioned before, is to have the drills mining scrap from wherever the deposits are kind of spread out over this island. And then they'll need to be flown to wherever I need them by the actual logistics bots. Well, I guess it's a good thing I went and grabbed more of those robot frames, because we're going to need a decent amount in order to supplement moving all of our stuff around all the way up here. Okay, I'm gonna have to go dump all that scrap material and junk down. I'll do it now. Then I should be able to just run through the rest of the side of the island and clear everything off without having to empty my inventory again. So let's see, stone, steel, wheels or gears, sticks. All the miscellaneous stuff that I don't have a use for at the moment, but I may at some point in the future. Let's see. Okay, keep going. Just this section, and everything should be clear, but I am out in the open. Okay, so move this to about there and put another collector down. Now we're covered. Might need another one kind of in here. We'll see how much reach I've got. almost there. I think the majority of the stuff that I've been focusing on stream here today has been a bit of, I call it busy work, prepping these sites and kind of talking about my plans for how I want to expand out production. When we return to Factorio, I will have all that set up, and we may even be on the next planet by then, since right now the kind of cadence of doing this every couple weeks or so I think works well. I still find it hard to believe it's been almost a month since I streamed this, but that's what my archives said. So maybe not a full month. If we do that, there's going to be a lot of progress if I keep playing offline. So maybe we'll try and do it every other week or every couple weeks. I will think about that for now, because right now we're rotating between 3 major playthroughs here on the channel for the gaming stuff. There's Raido Remastered. There's Warriors Abyss, which we started playing somewhat recently on stream. Technically Monster Hunter is in there as well, but I think I'm going to probably take a break from streaming it. There's a lot of content coming out that I do want to talk about, and I'll be playing it offline for sure. But last time I streamed it, I was having issues with it not running super well. So I'm going to see, since there was an update recently with some new stuff they added, I'm going to look at my hardware settings, maybe do some driver updates and see, post the recent update, how the game runs before I look at streaming it again. So that will be on the near horizon, and then I should have that figured out by the time the next major update comes out, which should be September, I think. They haven't really said what's going to be in that update as far as new monsters, and well, some of the stuff that was going to be in that update was just added this week. They kind of moved it up. So I'll have to see. Monster Hunter's not going to go away. It is one of the things that I like streaming the most here on the channel. So more to come on that. But let's see. We need to establish a logistics grid, which is what these roboports are for. And I need to go. Oh, I'm far away. What's all that red? What, power grid being struck by lightning? It is. Yeah, I think. No. Why is it all deleting? Huh. I don't remember telling the bots to do that. That's weird. I'm gonna put all that back. Huh. I don't know why that happened. I wonder if I accidentally clicked demolish on the map when I was clicking through. Odd. Well, I'm putting those back because we needed all of the accumulators we can get in this area. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I can at least add this here. And should have enough to go kind of up to the north. My guess is it's possible some of these were in range of lightning. I didn't see that they were getting zapped and they got destroyed over time. But let's see if it gives me the icon. That doesn't look like it. I think it's still covered. Thought there was a little bit of a gap in between, but we'll just put this here just to be absolutely sure. Okay, what we can do is run down to the main production site. I need to grab some logistics bots, and then we'll start getting ready to wrap up. There they are. Now, I can see here how my supply of bots is looking. My guess is I've probably lost a handful because I haven't gone back to restock them in a while. But ultimately, I don't want to have that be the primary focus. Once we move production over to this larger site, then all of the bots will primarily be there. Alright, to kind of illustrate what I was talking about, and I'm going to need more drills now that I look at it. I guess we can do... we could do this. Each one isn't going to have its own box, but when there's enough that I could put a row of these, we'll have them feeding like this. And dumping all their contents in the box. And I'll probably duplicate this particular setup in a couple spots. But if we look further out, I need to not crowd it too much here because I'd like... For this particular continent, because it's very, very close, I could probably just run logistics and have the bots fly stuff a little bit further down here. That's fine. This is a little further apart, but I wonder, will it reach? It will reach. I might not need to use trains. They might be close enough together that I can just put the lightning collectors on the tips, and then if they fly through, then they won't have to worry as much about being zapped, the bots. I'll have to look at that. It's closer than I thought it was originally. But the tricky thing is if I have production all the way down here and the bots are flying from up here, they have to cross a longer distance and they could get zapped in between. So I'll have to think about that. If I run a rail, then the rail should have no issue just going like straight down and then dropping everything kind of in the heart of production where I need it to go. So it might still make sense to do that just to keep everything safe and not have to worry about losing drones or bots and having everything stop at some point. But we'll go ahead and save here. I think this is a good stopping point. There's still quite a bit to do. We have a lot more to build up on these sites, and then I need to start working on production here. I think this is going to be my chance to test out the Mark III logistics stuff, like the belts, splitters, and underground, since I haven't used them anywhere yet. But they're being actively produced over here where I set up earlier. least they were. What I run out of? I ran... Oh. What I run out of? These ran out of wheel or gears. I see. Okay, I need to go fix that. Let me do that or I'm going to forget, and then I won't have any of those things to use when I actually need them. Here. Is it all three of these? Okay, this one should be fine if we just put the underground here. And then we'll just dump these in here. Actually, it should work. Yep, that works here as well. Might have to increase the amount of gears being put on there, though. Maybe we give each one its own dedicated thing for gears. Still be able to grab them for this one. It's burning through them kind of quickly, though. Maybe I can just put one over here. This whole setup is not the prettiest. I could do it a lot better, but it just needs to be functional for now. There we go. That should work a little bit better. As long as I don't run out of gears. I shouldn't. Down here at the recycling. Oh. No, we're definitely burning through all the ones that I was pulling off of the recycle line here. I wasn't expecting that. That's probably a temporary problem since all the stuff is not being produced at a large amount. In fact, we could just do that. Eventually it's just going to be the belts. Yeah, that's probably fine. If we take a look at the Mark IIIs, and we compare the Mark IIs, that's what the 2 looks like. And so the 3s are, I think, twice as fast. Oh, this is 15 items faster. Okay, so not 2 times, but considerably quicker in moving stuff from point A to point B. The idea is going to be to have the new production site, once I get it up and running, which is what we were working on for the entirety of the stream today. When I get to building all the production here, it's going to be using Mark III everything, so hopefully it does everything much faster. We shall see. There's also the issue of water, at which point I might need to do another line. Oh, I have to clear out some stuff here. But we might be able to utilize this site since right now there's not a lot of water being transported over to the main spot where everything's being built. Either I'm going to repurpose that line to go to the new production site or just add another one so there's 2. But we can do that here. I think there'll be no issue with water being produced here for a bit. At least till all the scrap is depleted. Which, not an immediate issue, but that will be a problem at some point. Oh, I didn't see this one down here. This little tiny island is very densely covered in scrap. So if I ever need to traffic the material from here to the main site, then that's going to last a while. So that's another option. Basically, it's going to be rails everywhere on Fulgora, but we will get there. So we will call that a good stopping point for stream today. Let me go see who is online that we can raid. Oh, Matt's live. Oh, I haven't seen Matt live in a while. I think we've just been streaming at different times. He's playing Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. All right, let's go see how Mr. Red Shirt is doing. Let me go ahead and cue that up. We'll pause music. And go to outro. And so that will do for today's session in Factorio. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be on the road after today. So we will be back on the somewhat regular schedule next week. I'll have to figure out when I'm going to have the schedule posted, but it'll probably go up on Monday night, because that's when I'm going to be back. So we'll figure out what we're doing next week, but until then, thanks to all the folks who came by and hung out. We'll return to Factorio in the near future, so hopefully the next time we show up it'll be even more impressive. But until then, hope everyone has a good rest of your evening or day, and we'll catch you later. Now let's go see how the attorneying is going on Matt's stream.